Hello, friends. Welcome to the Juicebox Podcast. From my family to yours, I want to wish you a happy holiday.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
My name is Mike. Happy to be here. We've been married since 2011, and we've got a 11-year-old daughter, which is actually kind of why we're here today, I think.
If you're looking for community around type 1 diabetes, check out the Juicebox Podcast private Facebook group, Juicebox Podcast, type 1 diabetes. But everybody is welcome. Type 1, type 2, gestational, loved ones, it doesn't matter to me. If you're impacted by diabetes and you're looking for support, comfort, or community, check out Juicebox Podcast, type 1 diabetes on Facebook. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Skin Grip. Durable, skin-safe adhesive that lasts. Your diabetes devices, they can fall off easily sometimes, especially when you're bathing or very active. When those devices fall off, your life is disrupted and it costs you money. But Skin Grip patches, they keep your devices secure. Skin Grip was founded by a family directly impacted by type 1, and it's trusted by hundreds of thousands of individuals living with diabetes. Juicebox Podcast listeners are going to get 20% off of their first order by visiting skingrip.com/juicebox. Nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. The episode you're about to enjoy was brought to you by Dexcom. The Dexcom G7, the same CGM that my daughter wears. You can learn more and get started today at my link, dexcom.com/juicebox. Today's episode is also sponsored by the Omnipod 5. And at my link, omnipod.com/juicebox, you can get yourself a free, what'd I just say? A free Omnipod 5 starter kit. Free? Get out of here. Go click on that link, omnipod.com/juicebox. Check it out. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. Links in the show notes. Links at juiceboxpodcast.com.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
And who else is here?
My name is Mike. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to have you. So you guys are what? Dance partners? You're married? What are you?
Once in a while, we do dance together, yes. But yeah, we've been married since 2011, and we've got a 11-year-old daughter, which is actually kind of why we're here today, I think.
Okay. Rachel, is your daughter the only child or are there others?
Yes, only child. We just have one. She's
Nice.
plenty.
Oh, yeah. I think you mean a lot. Is that what you're trying to
And
say?
perfect.
Oh, sure. It's lovely. Rachel, what brings you to the podcast today?
So our daughter, Molly, was diagnosed with diabetes in August 2021 in that nice little break of COVID where we could both go to the hospital. And yeah, so that's what brings us.
Nice.
Mike used the podcast when she was first diagnosed, and here we are.
Mike, how did you find it?
So even from the hospital room, I think I ordered the bag of hope from JDRF, the little Rufus, the diabetic bear doll, and just sort of started saying, okay, what is any resource I could possibly find? Lord knows I wasn't going to be sleeping much. I came across the podcast, and I can tell you for sure, or I should say, I came across the Facebook group first, and I'll tell you, in those certainly in the first few months, possibly even in the first year or two, there were times at 2 a.m, alarms are blaring, this is that, and I'm on the podcast. Why in the hell is this happening? Like what? And I would get 95 answers in 15 minutes from across the globe. It was kind of wild.
Yeah. So that group was a little bit of like your frequently asked questions page for a while?
For me, yeah. A little bit. And with a slight grain of salt, because obviously there's folks in there who have been doing a whole variety of management methods for decades. But yeah, it was definitely like, all right, how can I get, a bunch of opinions of people who have one way or other lived with this for years and kind of hash through them.
Kind of quickly just try to figure out a direction. So what did you do? Did you kind of just collate answers, and how did you take those different suggestions from people and turn that into action for yourself?
Sometimes it wasn't for me anyway. always about action. Sometimes it was just like, okay, this is not like we're doing something really weird here. This is happening clearly to thousands of other people.
Oh.
And I could feel a little bit better about, Rachel and I, our process of learning, which it clearly sort of trial by and error,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it did turn into action. And usually those were the questions that were a little bit more technical. Like I've asked this actually more than once. I keep forgetting. You're changing the Dexcom, the pod, and all at the same time. Which do you do first and why? Then I would okay, maybe I would sort of look at those like following instructions sometimes.
Okay. And Rachel, were you a member as well at that point?
So I was not. My husband actually added me to it a little bit later, a few weeks, maybe a month or two. And I silenced it because I found it totally overwhelming. I thought it was too much. It was like too much information at once. I needed time I'm like the emotional one of us. So
Okay.
I needed time to sit with my feelings on it before I was jumping in on all of the technical and the medical. And obviously you jump in the medical immediately. That is number one. You have to, but I'm an emotional human. So it definitely was too overwhelming for me right away.
Did you ever make it back to it or no?
I did. I'm more of a observer
Okay.
on the Facebook page.
No.
For sure. Yeah. I'm not as much of a commenter or question asker. I like to just scan a little bit. Instagram's more my jam too.
Okay.
So I get a lot from Instagram.
I think a lot of people are lurkers before they're talkers. Actually, I think it's a large portion of the people, because I can see how many people see a post, but how many of them comment on it is a significantly different number.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think that's uncommon at all. Which one of you was the first one to say out loud, hey, there's something wrong with Molly. What's going on?
I think that was me. Definitely me. This is a kid who never had an accident basically in her entire life. She woke up dry at 18 months and never had it. It was potty training was easy.
Right.
So at age 7, when your kid has 3 overnight accidents within 5 nights, something's up.
Yeah.
So I wanted to think it was a UTI or anxiety because she was heading back into the school year post-COVID. But I knew in the back of my head, because my brother has type 1 diabetes, although he was in his 20s when he was diagnosed, that it was a big possibility. So when I called the pediatrician to say, hey, something's going on, and they were like, you need to come in today.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it hit me in the stomach. And I was like, yep, we're going to get that diagnosis today.
Did you tell the pediatrician your brother has type 1?
I didn't until we were there.
Okay.
But I told them about the accidents, and they were like, so you're going to come in today? And I was like, well, camp ends this week. Can I come in next week? We can wait. It's fine. Let's not take her out of camp. And they were like, our last appointment's at 4. You're going to come in.
Right.
So I knew.
Yeah.
And the pediatrician has had T1 for 40 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he was very well versed in the whole thing, and is an excellent pediatrician on top of that. But yeah, I'm sure his bells went off immediately.
So, Rachel, what else is in your family line? There's type 1 with your brother. Do either of you have autoimmune stuff? Or
my mom has MS. She also has Hashimoto's. So that nice little stack. Yeah. So we knew.
Rachel, do you have anything?
I have Barrett's esophagus, so that's not related.
It's not that. Okay, yeah. How did you find out you had that?
I was 24, which is interesting because my mom's like, it's an old man's disease. What do you mean? But I was having some GI stomach things. I was nauseous, so they did not think it was going to be Barrett's esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But my dad has it too. So
how do you manage it?
I just am on lansoprazole.
And that worked. Yeah. So I have the beginnings of Barrett's.
Oh.
I had horrible reflux and stuff like that for years. And sometimes I had kind of silent, I don't know if that's really a thing, but I don't know how to put that exactly. It feels like silent reflux a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's all, the GLP made it all go away.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
yeah, I kind of have silent Barrett's also. My symptoms were not total acid reflux. They were not. That's why they were shocked. So yeah. Anyway.
It's pretty awesome how much that's alleviated. I know some people say they go on GLPs and they get reflux, but
oh, interesting.
Mine went away, and it wasn't for those people listening who was like, "Well, it's because you were fat, Scott." But it went away way before the weight happened. So
interesting.
I have no idea.
Should look into it.
Yeah, what was going on down in there? Anyway,
Scott, we have a very who I think is a very intelligent friend of ours, who literally talks about the GLP drugs like as if aliens came down and handed us this like magical thing and we just have no idea what to do with it. Like it works or doesn't work for so many things. You watch the news every like few weeks, there's a new thing that apparently these drugs help. It's kind of crazy.
It works on so many different things that when I have a little ailment that's not touched by it, I'm like, oh, well, the GLP really let me down on that. How come it didn't fix my sore knee? So, okay, you're in the doctor's office. They give you the diagnosis right there. You go to the hospital. What was her blood sugar?
Yeah, they sent us to CHOP, which is Children's Hospital Philadelphia. For those that aren't in the area, they told us we had time to go home. Her number was like, I think we were 575 at the time, so high, but not like DKA. And so they were like, go get some clothes. You're going to be there a few days. So we went home. We grabbed some food so that we could eat in the emergency room. We were probably there around 6. And then we didn't get a room until like midnight.
Yeah.
But I was like, why are you not, you were called. Why aren't you letting us come in immediately?
Hello, we're tired.
And
hello.
So for what it's worth, Molly was basically fine. She Rachel said no DKA. She was not sick. She was not throwing up. She was not, I mean, yeah, she was a little nerve wracked what was going on, but she was otherwise seemingly healthy we hear stories. I mean, I've read stories on the podcast and the Facebook group of kids who were just violently ill. So
you caught it early.
To some degree, we feel kind of lucky in that sense. And Rachel mentioned, CHOP. Like, so we were on our way to the hospital and there are, this, 7 or so, right? 7? Yeah. 7-year-old girl. What is she saying you could imagine all the things she might be saying or crying about, or what did she say to us? She says to us how lucky she feels that we have this hospital in our backyard, and how, correct if I'm wrong, she was like, I feel bad that not everybody has this. I mean,
we were.
Where is this coming from?
Yeah, we were reassuring her that like everything was going to be okay. That CHOP is one of like the best children's hospitals in the country, and we're so lucky it's right here.
Yeah.
And she started to that's the moment she started to cry and get upset. Not when we were rushing there, but was like, oh my gosh, other kids don't have this. Why are we like, this is so sad.
Is she normally that empathetic?
I feel really guilty. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
It's her nature.
Yeah,
I think it's my fault.
You think it's your fault. It's lovely. So people don't know, but I only have 10 more minutes with Rachel, and then it'll be Mike and I till the end. Apparently Rachel has like a job or something.
I know, it's terrible.
Yeah, but so I want to ask a question a little out of order. Your brother having type 1 in any way valuable for you, or did you guys not talk about it very much? Like, what was that relationship like?
So it's funny. My brother and I, as close as we are very close. It's just the two of us. He's my older brother. He sort of like, because he was in his 20s, like kept it really to himself. He was on MDI. He didn't have a CGM. He just sort of did his own thing. I'm a little sister. So I would make fun of him for taking naps in the middle of the day. I'm like, you're an adult. What are you doing? Now, looking back, I have apologized to him many times.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm sorry, you were probably dealing with something. While in the moment of diagnosis, there was no like, oh, I can check to this or say this makes sense or whatever. Now, and like since she's been diagnosed, it's been great for her to have like a T1D buddy in our family. They were already really close. She's his only niece. They're already very close. And I think this brought them even closer. And she can be like, hey, what's your number? Like I'll get emotional about this. So just
take your time.
Because my mom does. He got a CGM. He got a Dexcom when Molly did. They were begging him for 10 years to get one.
Right.
To manage his blood sugars better and figure it out. He's a creature of habit. He'll kill me for saying that on this podcast, but it's fine. But my mom was so happy. Everybody just like that, like little bit of worry lifted a little about my brother when he was like, okay, if my niece can do it, I can do it. He's still not on a pump.
Okay. Well, what do you think about her diagnosis motivated him? Today's episode is brought to you by Omnipod. We talk a lot about ways to lower your A1C on this podcast. Did you know that the Omnipod 5 was shown to lower A1C? That's right. Omnipod 5 is a tube-free automated insulin delivery system. and it was shown to significantly improve A1C and time in range for people with type 1 diabetes when they switched from daily injections. My daughter is about to turn 21 years old, and she has been wearing an Omnipod every day since she was 4. It has been a friend to our family, and I think it could be a friend to yours. If you're ready to try Omnipod 5 for yourself or your family, use my link now to get started. Omnipod.com/juicebox. Get that free Omnipod 5 starter kit today. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. You can manage diabetes confidently with the powerfully simple Dexcom G7. Dexcom.com/juicebox. The Dexcom G7 is the CGM that my daughter is wearing. The G7 is a simple CGM system that delivers real-time glucose numbers to your smartphone or smartwatch. The G7 is made for all types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2, but also people experiencing gestational diabetes. The Dexcom G7 can help you spend more time in range, which is proven to lower A1C. The more time you spend in range, the better and healthier you feel. And with the Dexcom Clarity app, you can track your glucose trends, and the app will also provide you with a projected A1C in as little as 2 weeks. If you're looking for clarity around your diabetes, you're looking for Dexcom. Dexcom.com/juicebox. When you use my link, you're supporting the podcast. Dexcom.com/juicebox. Head over there now.
I think I don't know. We haven't really talked much about it, but I do feel like he probably was like, I want to be around for her. She needs to see an example maybe of taking care of yourself and doing the things that you should do. And listen, the CGM isn't for everybody. I understand that too, but it certainly can help you with the trends of where you're going and all of that, and help you figure out what you need to do. I don't know if, Mike, you've ever had a conversation with him about it, but
I sort of think that, at least like on the front line, he was doing it for her. Hey, like, Ma, don't be afraid of this. I'm going to do this with you. Like, it's going to be helpful, a good thing, etc. I think kind of behind the curtain, there was a little bit of like, well, if my 7-year-old niece, understands this is right, I should probably be hopping on this train, But I think the thing that we sort of saw more so was in support of Molly. But I'm sure there was all right, it's about time. Like, I got to do this now.
Stop being so stubborn.
Yeah.
So he's not married, right?
No.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised by. I guess if I'd taken a high school psychology class or two, I would have understood. But people really have trouble doing things for themselves, but they have no trouble at all doing it for somebody else.
Totally.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Hey, in your note here, you said parenting the emotions versus the science. I'm asking that question now too. I'm trying to be mindful of Rachel's time because I feel like she's going to can you tell me what you meant by that?
I can totally answer that one. Because I am, as Mike and I always say, like, he's more medical, he's more science. He wants to dive into the numbers and the trends and her ratios and all of that. My mind doesn't work like that. I'm not a math person. I'm not a science person. I was like, I'm the least medical person, and you're going to throw me into this diabetes thing? Like, what are we going to do? I worried a lot in the hospital and beyond the past 4 years.
Okay.
About her confidence level. She just entered middle school this year. Like, what was going to happen when she transitioned to middle school? Elementary school was so supportive. Her friends were amazing. She had friends who would be like, Molly, is this a run around recess? Do you need to bring your numbers down, or do you need to sit? Like, yeah, those are the things I thought about. Were her friends going to be supportive? Was she going to feel confident? Is she going to be rocking her gadgets? Is she going to be able to go into the world and say, I have diabetes. Okay. Don't make fun of me.
Mike, does Rachel worry about everything?
Oh, it's like her middle name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. Amongst the two of us, she is definitely the worrier. It's not like she's never involved in the, carb counting. And we share a lot of those things because you have to. But yeah, it's definitely true that, Rachel's more, I don't want to say concerned about, but her vibe is more that way. My vibe is often more.
We've put Mike in a bad position. Rachel, are you anxious?
I am super anxious.
Okay.
I will say, this is not that I don't do the medical or I don't do
No, I understand.
any of that, but I definitely question myself more.
Okay.
When it comes to those things, I'm more like, was that the right thing to do?
So let me ask you, all your concerns and your worry, were they valid, or could you have skipped over them and things would have been okay?
I probably could have skipped over them because she's amazing and she's confident and she like wears a crop top with her devices
all the things
hanging
you were worried
out.
about. Yeah.
She a year into it, she was like wearing a crop top and both of her devices were on her stomach. And I remember this moment so well. She was like, Mom, guess what part of this, my strongest part of my body is right now? And she points to her stomach where both, her Dexcom and pump are on her stomach. And she's like, see, I'm strong. And her friends are nice and nobody even like cares about the beeping in class.
Right.
And I'm concerned about all those things.
Rachel, can I ask a difficult question?
Yeah.
Does she tell you, look, Mom, look how strong I am, because she knows you're worried and she's trying to make you feel better?
She might, because she's an empathetic
Yeah,
person.
but we know we can't make her feel that way, right, Rachel?
I know.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
It's funny because we like immediately put her in therapy right after diagnosis because I wanted her to just at least like,
I'm laughing because I wanted to say, not you. You put her in.
I did too.
I was going to say, because she sounds okay.
I met with the therapist too. She's great. I needed her more.
I was going to say, Molly sounds like she's doing fine.
She's doing great. We actually, the therapist, we brought her back at like some point because we like took like a long break, I guess the summer or whatever. And she was like, so you can keep coming. I love talking to Molly, but like, she's okay.
yeah, no kidding. But you're still going or no?
No,
no.
I don't have time for that.
Have you been able to give it away, or do you still carry the anxiety around?
It's not as much. I've definitely in the past year or two have like, I found new things to worry about. So don't worry.
I'm supposed to send something to my sister-in-law this week that has to be put on ice. And the other night, my wife goes into the freezer to move stuff around because she bought something that she had to make fit in the freezer. And she takes out the ice packs and she puts them on the counter. I said, yo, I'm using them tomorrow to mail the stuff. And she goes, those are not the right ice packs. And I was like, what? I was like, they're cold, right? I was like, they'll be fine. I'm overnighting something. It's cold outside. Like, it's going to be, no, you have to get ones that are meant for that. And I thought like, all right, I mean, I guess if this makes you feel better, but I just bought more ice packs for no reason whatsoever. But it's a thing that I looked at her. I was like, oh God, she's worried about this.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to you ladies, but like, God bless you, because it's terrible. It really is.
I don't know what it is either.
Yeah.
But
were you like that before you made that baby, by the way, Rachel? Or did it happen? Like, did you think she grabbed a switch on the way out? What do you think?
I think I always had it in me. Mm-hmm. But I
Mike's
do think it intensified after I had a daughter.
Yeah, like I always assume like the kids are sliding out. There's a big like button that says do not push. A lot of them go by and push it. And then you girls lose your minds.
Yep.
I don't know what happens. Exactly.
So true.
A little
so
bit.
True.
A little bit.
I want to be fair. I appreciate that my wife seems to be hardwired to make sure that we're okay. I just want to say, I think we'd be okay if she wasn't like that too. I find myself telling her all the time, I'm like, when you're not here, I handle this and everything's fine.
Right.
I do it one way, you do it a different way. Like your way's not right, my way's wrong. And I don't even think she thinks that. I just think the anxiety of it not being done the way she knows it works is hard on her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she was like that before I was going to say before I got her pregnant, before we had a baby. I don't know if she was like that before we had a baby or not, because I don't really remember. We were dating, like our lives were not as intertwined, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, feels like a bait and switch.
True.
Yeah,
I totally acknowledge a lot of times. Sometimes I don't, and I say this is just the way it is. But I do acknowledge that there is some crazy inside of that anxiety. But there is some crazy to the anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have to go, Rachel? Are we leaving
on that
you?
note, I am going to hang up. I know I'm a joy and I'm so fun.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just have to have me back by myself.
Well, I would do that. But before I let you go, where's your accent from? Because it's not Philly, but you're in Philly.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. People say it's Philadelphia all the time.
I don't know what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a little like there's a tail at the end. Like I hear Philly and then there's a tail. What's the tail?
I don't
Where'd
know.
you go to college?
Muhlenberg College in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you stayed here. I don't know. Are you fancy? Did you come from Mike? Did you pluck her out of a fancy family? What happened?
I mean, Mike, I assume my in-laws are not going to listen to this. So no, not really. I mean,
they'll listen to it. They listen to everything we do.
Mike's like, they were garbage people. They were lucky I took her.
Yeah. I don't know. My dad was born in Paris. He moved here when he was 8, but he doesn't have an accent. Like he sounds Philadelphian.
There's an elegance to the end of your speech pattern.
I don't know.
You don't know that?
I'm just fancy.
All right. Go do your job. I don't want you getting fired.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No, it was great. You definitely can come back on. Let me know, okay?
Great. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, Mike. Now we can talk about her.
Totally.
Heard that.
She's still...
Now we can talk about her.
Yeah, now we can definitely talk. I didn't look up before I said that. So far, what you've heard here, right? Like this is, I think it'll be interesting to keep it going this way. Did you find yourself worried about your daughter and your wife all of a sudden? Where were you while this was happening?
A little bit. So, actually, I think in the very beginning, and I say this in a nice way, like my wife and many other people could have just disappeared on the face of the earth. I wouldn't have known.
Oh, okay.
Like there was a little bit where it was like, okay, this is all about Molly. And whatever I could or couldn't or thought I could do to help her or not help her or be there or not be there was all that I was kind of consumed about. And I think it took me a little while to not a little while, I guess, in years, but maybe just a couple of weeks to really just kind of remember, wait a minute. No, I'm very much so not alone in this.
Mm-hmm. So you felt alone. You got locked in on trying to find answers, solutions?
Well, looking back at it, I think that is definitely part of it. I mean, that's why, I literally from the hospital, there I am Googling, like, what organizations are out there? What can I get? That's why that bag of hope came. Mm-hmm. I bet you if I went back and looked, what date did I join the Juicebox Podcast Facebook group? I'd be willing to bet, now I'm probably going to be wrong when I say this, but that it was within hours or days of diagnosis.
Of the diagnosis, yeah. And that's consistent with your personality? Like diving in, like the whole thing? Or is this like, did this unleash your crazy somehow? Like what?
No, so like, right now, like, I'm a realtor, but like I'm a business coach. So I've worked with agents coaching new agents. So like the ability and desire to help solve a problem is very much so there. I mean, that's sort of been one of my things. I like the quote, the God of minutes, I like being able to help, being able to assist. So yeah, I think it's always been that way. And this was now like, okay, I've got something that's extremely important to me. How can I help? What can I do? So that's whereas Rachel was, more focused on the emotional side of thing.
Yeah. What was going to happen to her?
How can I change her ICR? What number can I tweak here? Because otherwise I felt helpless. Like really, there's nothing I can do. Just watch her go through a day at 350. Like that's not okay.
Right.
Even now, like, I dropped her target yesterday, changed some of her ICR last week because I look at things. I'm like, this number's not okay the way it is all day long.
Okay. So would you have known that the number wasn't okay if you didn't find the community aspect of it? Or do you think you would have thought it was all right and maybe not even looked into the rest of it?
That's a good question. So I think a little bit of both, because in the beginning, almost as often as I was looking at the Facebook page or listening to the podcast, I was also going into the CHOP, hospital app and messaging and the non-urgent medical question to the care team there. Like, hey, I'm seeing this. What do you think I can do? Or I want to try this, that, and this on the pump. Do you think this would be okay? Those messages occurred quite often back then too. And even these days, with a little bit more of a, head on my shoulders and not quite so, important, but not like freaking out, I still send the CHOP team a message saying, hey, can you look at our numbers the past couple of days? Like log into Gluco, take a look. I don't like what I'm seeing. and I want to try this. What do you think? I still do it, just not as often, and usually not at 2 a.m.
How have you found that to be valuable? Like, to message them, are they getting back to you with actionable stuff? It's helping you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know about every diabetes care management team, but the CHOP people, the Hospital of Philadelphia, they're phenomenal. And so if I send it's a non-urgent medical question in,
Mm-hmm.
I hear back. If I send it before noon, I'll hear back that evening.
Okay.
But it's barring it being the weekend. If I write on a Monday afternoon, 9 times out of 10, I hear back latest
That's
by
awesome.
Tuesday. And I've paid enough attention to whatever, and I've got the Gluco app. I kind of reference, hey, can you look at this hour to this hour on these past 5 days and tell me what you think? And for instance, I just learned this. I don't know if learn is the right word, or experienced it, whatever. Really seeing, okay, Molly put in, for breakfast or something, because breakfast is her work. It shoots her up, and I don't know what's going on, but it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see, all right, she got on the bus at 7:30. She got to school, and I know this is, I know what time the bus gets her, at about 8:05. And I can see at 8:10, looking at the Gluco app, she had 25 carbs. Okay, she got something to eat at the school, no problem. Suggested bolus, I don't know, 3.5. Bolus delivered 1.5. And I can see, Ma, like, what did you do? You we weren't in the mood to give yourself the full bolus at that moment. And it wasn't a rebellion thing. She's a little scared of insulin.
Yeah.
So, but I can see this. So, like, every day or I'm learning something. Oh, I can log into Google. I can see that. And I get to have a slightly more intelligent, yet not forceful conversation with her. Or if she goes high enough, the school nurse text messages us and says, would you like us to treat this? I'm like, yeah. Oh, and by
Yeah.
the way, could you remind her that she did not give her full bolus for the whatever she ate at the school cafeteria?
Mm-hmm. When you message the care team and you get the answer back, do you find that they're saying something to you that you were like, oh, thank God I got to them because I had no idea this? Or are you just using them as a sounding board, and what they're saying back to you, you think, oh, well, this is what I thought?
At this point, the latter, because
Okay.
I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, it was an Omnipod. You can't change many things. I mean, it's
In
like
the Omnipod
Target.
5.
The Omnipod 5. Yeah, you change the target, you change the ICR. I mean, there's not a whole lot of tweaking. I suppose other pumps with more things that you can do might be bigger questions, but no, right now it's just sort of like, hey, and what do you think of this?
So you're scared that there's something you're missing, but then you're hearing back from them and realizing that's not the case. I was kind of on top of that. So do you think that's building your confidence? Like, I'm trying to imagine them, right? They're spending their time answering your question, but you already know the answer, but there's still something valuable coming from it. Is it the confidence piece?
Yes, 9, 10.
Okay.
I would say yes. Sometimes there's something I just don't know how to do. Like, how do I do this? But I would say that more often than not, it is I notice a trend of, whatever, highs at a certain time or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it might be. And I just want to say, okay, I'm thinking of trying this, changing the ICR here, up in the target there, whatever. What do you think? And
Okay.
just hearing from someone who really should know more than me.
Valuable to know back. Okay.
Yeah, it's valuable and reaffirming that, like, okay, I'm on the right track here. Great.
Good. And then the other piece that you feel like you have like a jumping in point to speak with your daughter about it. How is that going? Like, because it seems to me like it's interesting, right? Because the not giving insulin to the full number because she's nervous about it is more of the emotional side of her, but she's talking to the technical parent about it. Have you ever put your wife on that conversation instead of you?
So I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, yes. I once or twice we have definitely had it together, like, in the same. We're all sitting there on the couch together, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be willing to bet that it's happened between Rachel and Molly just independently as well. I think, though, the conversation probably or the part of the conversation goes a little bit differently when Rachel has it than when I have it. I mean, I just last week I said to Molly, and I literally said to her, Mom, no one's upset with you. I'm not angry with you. Like, if you miss a bolus, like, I mean, it happens. But the way I said it to her is, I said, look, you need to be, I mean, she's 11 years old, again, just not like she's in her 20s, but she's also she's not 5.
Yeah.
I said, you feel it beeping. You have a watch, you have it in a little fanny pack. You feel it, you hear it. You can't ignore this. If you eat breakfast or you have a snack at school, and 30 minutes later, and you were like, you were 130 when it happened, and 30 minutes later, you're 390 shooting up. Like, you need to notice, wait, what did I miss?
Do you think she's ignoring it, or do you think it's just because she's 11 and she's doing other stuff?
I think most of it is just, I was at recess, I was at math class, I was whatever, hanging out. I don't think she was consciously ignoring it. If I listen to podcast episodes and seen on the Facebook people saying, "Oh, my kid is like rebelling." I go into their room and they're hiding candy and this, that, and the other. I don't think she's rebelling against it. I don't think it's that kind of a conscious decision. I think it's just, she's 11 and just kind of forgets and life goes on with her day. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say to her. I said, "Mom, I'd much rather be having this conversation with you right now about, hey, babe, when you feel that the watch vibrate, take a look. Like, you should never, ever need to feel ashamed or that you're interrupting class if you just have to pull your phone out, click a few buttons, and give yourself more insulin." And I actually said to her, I don't want to be having this conversation with you in the emergency room one day. Like, this is a very important thing. It's, and I didn't like freak her out. She got it. She's like, "No, I know. It's nothing I want her to feel sorry for, but we're not there with her all the time. Her, she needs to sort of say."
So, Mike, you're more afraid than you're letting on. Is that right? What are you afraid of? Like, what would get her into the emergency room?
Well, like, you don't want to spend your days, 300-400, your glucose levels. At some point, it's unhealthy. And if she were to, I don't know, have a day where for whatever reason she missed more than is normal, you don't want a kid going into DKA. You don't want something happening.
But is that happening? Is she running around with 300 and 400 blood sugars?
Rarely.
Okay.
But there are days where I look at things, I'm like, well, granted, most of the days where it's prolonged usually end up being a pump issue. Like the pump is leaking or something, or not absorbing well. But there are, without question, I guarantee, and she has told me, "Hey, Mom, did you bolus for that snack?" Oh.
No, I forgot.
Oops. Yeah, she forgot.
But how frequently? In a month? How many times does that happen?
A handful, less than half a dozen.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you said something that I rubbed up against. Like, you were like, well, it's not like she's 5, she's 11. I mean, I don't know. 11 sounds pretty young to me still.
Well, that's right. So as I said, she's not a teenager or her 20s. She's not an adult per se, but like, she's old enough to, and has been doing this, for 4 years. Her wrist vibrates on her phone beeps on. It's not like it's, oh, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? And she's old enough to say, oh, that's what's happening here. Let me do something.
When I was 11, I lived in an apartment complex, and we would, during a certain part of the season, there were crabapple trees on one side of the parking lot, and on the other side, those little spiny balls. I don't know if that makes sense to people.
Yeah.
And we would spend long portions of our day fighting wars across the parking lot. So we'd split people up half and half on either side, pick up either the crab apples or the spiny balls, and then just throw them at each other's heads as hard as we could.
So are you trying to make the point that kids are basically idiots?
I'm trying to say, like, I think she's doing pretty well, because if you went and found me at that age and you were like, hey, when your wrist vibrates while you're throwing the spiny balls at the people, like, you should stop and give yourself insulin. I'd be like, well, none of that's happening.
100%. Rachel and I both give Molly unbelievable credit. I mean, it is mind boggling to me the degree to which she has grown up and been forced to grow up and handled it with grace. I mean, it's unreal. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, maybe you're finding the end of how much she's willing to grow up right now.
Quite possibly. And that's fine. I mean, it's not like, no, you need to do. I just want to make sure she's healthy and happy and able to live yeah.
No, Mike, obviously. Like, so what do you got? What do you do? Like, if you see a big number like that, do you bop in with a text and they're like, hey, we got bolus here? Or
I definitely have. Yeah. I'll just shoot her a text. Hey, babe, a little correction would be a good idea.
And she does that?
Well, she usually does. Yeah, she'll She usually does, yes. Like, quick text back. Okay. Yep.
I mean, it sounds like how long has she been at this now? A few years?
4 years. Yeah, August 2021. So, yeah.
It sounds like you're doing well. I mean, it sounds like she's doing great. Do you think she handles it like on an emotional level? Is she kind of skating with it? Does she get caught up on it somehow? It doesn't sound like it from earlier descriptions.
She is the definition of a T1D warrior. I mean, she's a champ, yo. Like, I'm amazed by her in so many ways, but just in the ways in which she handles her diabetes is mind-boggling. Now, do I know if at age 11, and it's okay if she doesn't, she understands like the biggest of pictures, like this is a lifelong disease, but maybe not, and that's okay. I'm not concerned. Day to day, week to week, she is incredible.
Yeah,
it blows my mind.
Yeah. Hey, can you talk a little bit about how this has all impacted you specifically? Like, try your best to take her out of it for a second, and even your wife. Just remove everybody else. How's it changed your life?
So, I mean, there's a lot of the tangible stuff. I mean, it adds immensely to the things that were just. We have friends who go to school with her, and their bus comes for those kids at 7:30, the same way it basically does for Molly. Give or take a few minutes. And some of them roll out of bed at 7 o'clock, are dressed by 7:05, eat by 7:15, brush their teeth, and are on the bus. Yeah. Whereas Molly's like, we're like, well, wait, you gotta pre-bolus. You gotta wait 15 or so minutes. Then like there's more of a process. So there's our moments where, and again, in not a bad way, it's like, what are seemingly mundane moments of your day for many people are not mundane moments of our day, because we have to think about things a little bit more intentionally. Mm-hmm. Is it a problem? No. Would she like to sleep half an hour later? Yeah, I'm sure she would. But
Mike, I'm going to say something that's gonna make you feel uncomfortable for a second. I said, take your daughter and your wife out of it and tell me how it's changed your life. And you paused and then told me how your daughter's schedule makes things different.
It also,
how are you changed by this? Are you
so I guess I chose that example because you're right. Yeah. Otherwise, I would be doing the same thing. I would sleep half an hour later. I would be like, yo, go down and make your own damn self breakfast. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
Like you know how to pour a bowl of cereal, like have at it, kid. And I probably could. I mean, frankly, she probably could.
So you're more involved in things that you didn't imagine you'd be involved in. Is that a good or a bad change?
It's a little bit of both. There are some moments where I think it's actually a very nice thing because, I'm up with her. We sit, we eat breakfast sort of somewhat together. And I do appreciate those moments. So there's definitely some good to be had there. I talked to some of my coworkers who are like, dude, I haven't had breakfast with my kid in 5 years. Like, she's 12 years old. What the heck do you want? Like, she can pour herself a darn bowl of cereal.
And you're looking, yeah. Some maybe private time or extra sleep or something you might have gotten is gone.
Yeah. And do I regret it? Am I like bummed out about it? No. I mean, it's like there are moments where I'm happy to be. Yeah, I'm up earlier, sure, but like it's nice. It's like time together. Even though
brought you closer.
Yeah.
Okay, so is the answer like because of that scheduling thing, you've spent more time with your daughter and you get to see more than you think you would have otherwise?
I think actually there is some truth to that. Yes.
Yeah.
That just because of the extra little things you need to make sure of that we have, did you bolus for this? Did we remember to bring the this, whatever? I do think it kind of strengthens the connection that a parent can have with their kid. I definitely know there are instances where it probably does the opposite. But thus far, I think in many ways it strengthens the bond. Has thus far. I mean, there are certainly moments where she's like, guys, these don't words will come out of her mouth exactly like this, but like, screw you both. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm sure.
I actually thought it would be funny if I asked her that question. She was like, I don't know. They're around all the goddamn time. Like, I eat every morning with my dad. It sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. No, but like,
just change things a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you more or less anxious, more or less vigilant? Has it changed anything about your personality? Are there things that you would say, God, this has ruined this for me or made this much better? Anything that jumps out at you at all?
It is interesting thing. So, I work for Keller Williams, and we talk a lot about like mindset and what your big why is. Like, why are you here? What got you into this field, etc. Obviously, it's an applicable question to anything. I was asked by a very good coach. She's an extremely good real estate coach, business coach. And she said, she asked his question. So tell me, Mike, take a few minutes, but tell me your why. What are you here for? And this was at a class I took about a year ago. I gave her some answer, towing the line. Oh, I want to own a company, make good money, blah, blah, whatever, the kind of thing one might think about as a, entrepreneurial independent contractor or whatever. And she says, looks at me and says, Mike, stop. Why? That's a great goal. I want to make money, own my own business, blah, blah, blah. That's a great goal. But why? And just without even a moment of thinking, what rolled off my tongue was, well, because I have at the time 10-year-old daughter who's a type 1 diabetic who at this moment wants to be a dance instructor. And as far as I know, dance instructor does not carry with it great health insurance. So for the rest of my life, I need to make sure whether I sell one more house or whatever it is, that I can prepare myself to have to say, yeah, 30 grand a year is going to make sure that she can afford her insulin and that God forbid this happens or whatever. And the woman looks at me and goes, that is your big why.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to become a life coach. I just realized that what a scam. All she did was ask you to reframe your thought. Oh my gosh. How much do you have to pay her? That's how much I'm charging.
Well, luckily this is a class I went to, so
okay.
But you know what, Scott, you're not wrong, man. And these days on Instagram and all, everybody's a coach.
Yeah, they're not making any money. That's okay. But my thing does okay. I'm okay. I'm not going to pivot too much. But I just sometimes I see that happen in the business world, and I was like, all right. I mean, I don't think as much happened there as you think it did. Like, she's just trying to get, like, you think one way, Mike, like you're a problem solver, right? Like, which is pretty common for guys. She's trying to get you to just have a more macro view of what's going on. Also, I don't know if your why is to cover your daughter's health insurance for the rest of her life. Like, that's what's in your head right now because it's front of mind.
Well, sure. Your why should change. It should evolve. But why might you make in my world, a few extra prospecting calls or go push to go one more open house, be one more client? Why? Yeah, making money is great, and then but money is only good for the good that it does. And right now, the good that it's doing in my world is for my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear you. That's your focus. Your daughter's your focus.
Yeah,
that's good stuff, man. How has it changed your marriage, if it has?
I'm not sure if I would say that in any specific, I mean, Rachel might differ, but I don't think in any specific way I would say, yes, Molly's type 1 has changed our marriage. I mean, in the beginning, there were definitely moments, as things were beeping all night, like, okay, who's choosing not to sleep and to stay up and stare at the, follow app until the number comes up, who's going in to see what's happening. There were some of those kind of moments that added to the stress. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think in the big picture it's changed our marriage.
Okay.
There are definitely moments where. What's that?
You going to dinner? You getting out sometimes? Like all that's.
By God, yes. Just like I'm sure you have friends when they had newborns, they like disappeared from like their social circle for like 2 years. They just we have a baby. Yeah. Sorry, see you all in a year. So we were not that couple. Like when Molly was mobile, we took her to dinner, we took her here, I mean, like, so the same thing is sort of true now, right? In the beginning, for the first couple of months, was that the case? Probably not. But now, absolutely. I mean, the only thing that has not happened, and I actually think it's just because of we live near family. She's never had a babysitter, the local teenage girl come babysit.
Right.
In-laws and family, and yes, for sure. So we definitely don't say, oh no, we can't go out to dinner, we can't go to a friend's house, we can't go out with another couple because, but our Grammy and Grandpa available to watch her. It's not like, hey, let's just go to find the local babysitter, on the whatever.
Right.
That's definitely true. The number of friends that, like our friends, friends, that have kids that she's friends with, the parents that we've been willing to have her go spend a night with, like sleepover. Mm-hmm. For many years, it was like, no. We just, like, for 2 years, she didn't have your friend, you want to sleep over? They can stay over here.
Yeah.
But now we've got about 2 or 3 of her school friends. It has been a very interesting set of conversations with the parents, but that we're comfortable with her. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're, mom and dad have to go to we have a birthday party to go to, it's, going late. Yes. You want to sleep over at someone's house? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
No
So
problem.
things are getting more comfortable and expected, and you're branching back out into things that you imagine you would have been doing prior to the diabetes.
Yeah. And I think for a year and a half-ish, 2 years maybe, we still would go out with this, that, and the other, but it was like, we got to find, Grammy or grandpa, and no, the sleep girl, your friend can sleep over here. Yeah. So certain things have definitely evolved, and everybody, including Molly, is happy about it. And even one or two of the parents are like, it's wild. You talk a lot about community, which makes perfect sense. Well, we have a friend who is like, Molly and their daughter are very good friends. And she's stayed at their house before. She's even stayed at their shore house in Jersey once before. And she's like, the mom's like, what can I learn? What do I need to know? What does this beep do? How do I do this? But she wants to learn to make this. It's just wild to see. Big picture community boils down to like, wow, here's a friend of ours who could say, okay, yes, yeah, just fine. Mom and dad, you on the follow app, call me if you do something. But she's like, no, what do I need to learn? Because I don't want you, she says to us, I don't want you to have to like call me at 2 a.m. I want to know, what does this beep mean? And if it happens, what do I do? Where do I go? It's like, wow, that's the kind of friend you want.
Yeah, surrounded by that kind of support. That's really wonderful. I think it's interesting to hear somebody go through, all the different things that happen in the beginning. Like, I mean, in just the last hour, maybe we've seen like your wife's maybe the more emotional one. She had all these worries about like, how's she going to feel? How are people going to treat her? How's she going to assimilate? And you got to see that work itself out. You had worries about management. You're seeing that work itself out. You're seeing your community coming together around you, both like in the flesh, like people and people you've met virtually. I think it's crazy to like what to put a pin in any part of your conversation. And so, because like you've said things that like out of context, right? Like if I'm putting myself in the mind of somebody who's had diabetes for 30 years, they're going to think like, oh, he's being really restrictive, like in that part of the story here. Or like, Molly, I don't want to have this conversation in an emergency room, for example, like don't scare her. But like, you're not scaring her. Like you're having, like, it's like a growing conversation over years and months, that it's slowly coalescing together. I think you're doing it right. I think that this takes a really long time to put into place. It's not a thing you sit down and talk about for 30 minutes and everybody understands where you're at and you never have to talk about it again.
For sure. No, yeah. I appreciate that. I truly do. I mean, you clearly are talking to a lot of people in all sorts of stages of this. So I do appreciate hearing that. And I give unbelievable credit to Molly, the smartest, most caring, whatever parents on earth. If their kid is just sort of like not ready or willing to hear it, I don't think it matters. Molly is, and whether it's nature and nurture, a bit of both. I mean, she willing to have the conversations most of the time, and I give her immense credit. I mean, it's Rachel and I are unbelievably lucky to have a daughter like her who. I mean, look, yes, nobody wants their kid to have type 1 diabetes, but if you had to pick a kid who had to go through this, someone with her mindset is a gift.
Yeah. Well, Mike, just be ready to pivot and stay flexible like that, because things change. The hormone stuff's going to happen. It changes again. And, that flexible, like willing to listen girl might scream in your face one day. I have absolutely no idea. Or just ignore you, or, just smile and wave at you and then turn around and just be like, I'm not doing that. Like, who knows, like where it ends up going. I think that 100%. You just keep leading with like concern and love and, be empathetic, try to understand everybody's position. And, you make it through the next part and the next part and the next part, and it keeps morphing. It really isn't going to stop. As long as you know each other, your relationship's going to continue to change.
Yes, just keep doing, what do they say? The next right thing, just one step at a time there. And I mean, we'll play it by ear, like we're going to keep the lines of communication open, always come from a place of, you said love and concern, and we want everybody happy and healthy and doing well. And a little bit of luck, we should be all right.
Yeah, exactly. I just start with like a legitimate love, like, and that concern, and you want to help. And then, you know, if they get to a point where they can't or won't listen to it, you have to know when to stop too.
Yeah.
You have to know when, like, today's not the day, or this isn't going to work, or like, if we sit here for one more minute, this is going to turn into an argument, and then it can change our relationship forever. If you can stop yourself from tilting over to that other side and just accept that every day isn't going to be the outcome that, you know, would be perfect, you know, like, forget what you want or what she wants, but like, if there was some actual book that said, here's today's perfect outcome, you know, you're not really going to get to that every day, and you have to just, you know, be okay with that.
Well, and by the way, for all those times when I, you know, and send an email to Chop, or I want to tweak this thing, tweak that thing, I don't tell Molly.
Sure.
She has no idea that the 50 questions I've asked Chop and the, you know, 100 questions I put on the Facebook group. I just say, hey, Mom, give me your phone. Okay. Tosses it over, keeps doing her thing. I make my little changes. I say, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, at the moment, I don't need her to stress more than she might be about that sort of thing. And, you know, she gives her bullets and she gives her bullets. I don't need her to worry about why her ICR is the way it is right now. I mean, she'll deal with that. Obviously, as she gets older and more independent, she'll have to. But like, nope, I don't.
Not right now. Yeah, no. And you're not wrong. By the way, also, there'll be a day when you're like, give me your phone, and she'll be like, no, I'm okay. I don't need your help. Like, I mean, that's going to happen too. And she might be wrong. You know, even that's, boy, wait till you get to that one where you know that, like, the resistance is not the right thing for health or welfare or something like that. And you still have to bite your tongue and go, okay, you know, it's your life. You can do what you want. Here's what I was thinking. You know, I
can't go all resistance is futile on her. That's not going to work.
Yeah. And you don't want to try to scare her. Like, that's not going to, in the end, that's not going to work either.
No.
So, yeah. Well, look at you're making your way. How old are you, by the way?
What am I? I am 46.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I wasn't like I was trying to decide if you're like a younger parent or in the middle there. You're not an older parent. So, like,
somewhere in the middle there, I think.
Yeah. How old were you guys when you got married?
We were married in 2011.
2011.
So what is that? That's 14. Yeah, it's about 33-ish, 2-ish.
It seems so late to me because I got married like a trash person when I was really young. But but it's not really. That's pretty common, right? In your 30s for people nowadays.
I would say so.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common at this point. Yeah, there's not a lot of people who are like, oh, my 22-year-old wife and I. Doesn't happen as much anymore. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it feels like
I think you're definitely right. I think people are married later and having kids later.
Yeah, I mean, because people are trying to. I mean, it's more expensive, right? Like, it's not as easy to just jump in and be like, "We'll figure this out." It's
very true.
Feels like you won't figure it out. All right. Well, Mike, anything that we haven't talked about that we should have? Anything at all that I skipped over, or that you are like, "Oh God, how did we not get to this?"
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, I could talk for hours about the whole process and everything, and Molly, of course, and thrilled to kind of talk with you. It's kind of wild. It's like meeting a B-list celebrity.
That is very kind of you to consider me a B-list celebrity. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I am a D-list celebrity I don't even think that, right?
I mean this. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I mean, that podcast is excellent, and that community is often excellent as well. We've connected with some people, like Rachel was saying, Instagram is definitely her jam. I mean, there's a couple of folks that we follow on Instagram. There's one that we actually met in person. I don't know how we started following her in the beginning. We started following this woman. Long story short, Molly would be asked, hey, I wonder how she does it. Her handle used to be Beats and Beaties was her handle back in the time. It's Meg Type 1 right now. Molly would be like, how does Meg do it? I would want to watch the video on Instagram of like Meg changing her pod. And we eventually connected with her in real life. And like, you want to talk about a wild experience. It was wild. It kind of, the two of them like ran up and gave each other a hug. And Meg's like, I don't know, 30, and Molly was like 9. It was just a wild kind of moment. But I mean, the community is incredible, and I value it greatly.
Yeah, no, it's great. There are all kinds of people out there sharing in all different ways. And
yes.
It's fantastic that people are giving of their time like that. I hope this isn't boring to people. I asked ChatGPT for a list of B-list celebrities, right? So it gives me for actors, it said like Elizabeth Banks, Joe Manganiello, I don't even know, True Blood or something like that. Magic Mike, Hayden Panettiere from like Heroes or Nashville, like musicians. It says like Charlie Puth, Jason Derulo. Like, I'm just trying to give you what it says so you can agree with it or not agree with it, right? But hold on a second. Wait, give me one more second. So then I asked it for D-list celebrities. Honey Boo Boo, Farrah Abraham from Teen Mom, the William Hung guy who was like, famous for American Idol for 5 seconds.
Is that him?
Gary Busey, Tara Reid, Snooki.
Yeah.
And then I said, what would I be considered, if at all? So it knows who I am because it's my ChatGPT.
Yep.
It says, let's see. Really interesting question because the list system doesn't always fit people who've built niche empires rather than mainstream fame. But within your niche, which would be health or diabetes podcasting, you're an A-list celebrity.
Boom.
It says you've built the biggest, most influential podcast in your field, running for over a decade, pulling in major guests, shaping public understanding, maintaining one of the top positions in Apple's charts. This is dominance inside your vertical. You're the standard people compare against. So in the diabetes and chronic illness media world, you're closer to the level of Joe Rogan than as being recognizable and longstanding. But within the general public, outside of the niche, this gives me way more credit, I think, than this whole thing's wrong. You probably sit somewhere between C and B list, depending on exposure. That can't be right. Yeah, that's a mark of a highly successful niche celebrity, a category that's become more powerful and lucrative. Oh, wow. I can't wait for that part to happen. Than many traditional C-list TV faces. So it talks about the fame economy of today, using modern language instead of like old Hollywood A-list tiers. You're industry famous, not tabloid famous. You have influence without celebrity chaos. You have a loyal audience, high trust, consistent reach. That's actually the ideal kind of fame right now. Attention without the loss of privacy. All right. I mean, I don't know if that's right or not, but I love it.
Dude, I would take that in a heartbeat.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm famous. I always say I'm not, but goddamn it, ChatGPT says I am.
Well, I apologize for belittling you with that B rating, man.
Yeah, I prefer if you were a little more conciliatory right now. That's obviously you're talking to a king, and you were very rude to me. That could be. I could ask that question 5 minutes from now. I could say something completely different. It is interesting. I don't know, interesting to people beyond me, but the way that all has shifted is really strange. Like I would think of somebody who has like a couple of million TikTok views. It's like, oh, that person's more well-known than I am. But when you actually talk to people, they don't really know the person. They just they'll be like, oh, that thing. Yeah, that dance pops up in front of me. Or I've seen that person pop up in front of me. But they don't know their names or anything about them. It's
Scott,
interesting.
You know, I know you know, whether you admit you know is a different question. But that's why I think so many of the people that tune into your podcast and to your Facebook group do so is because you're so open with your own personal story, good, bad, and ugly. That's exactly right. It's not like, oh, there's just another random voice in the podcast ecosphere. It's not just like, ooh, some random video popped up on my feed. I mean, I think that's what draws people.
You're going to think I'm acting like I don't understand, but I'm really trying to get through your thought here. Like, are you telling me that there's a way I do this that's more relatable than how other people do it?
Of course.
You all should understand that whether this was happening on this podcast or somewhere else, like I am literally just being myself. So I would share this.
That's exactly right. And that's right. The point. I mean, I don't dive too deeply into like what your daughter's doing, where she's at, but there are people who clearly are like, oh yes, well, we've been listening to the beginning. We follow, what is it, Arden? Is that your daughter's name, right?
Yeah.
We seem to follow you and her like they're members of the family. I think they do that because you're very honest about the shit that's going on in your family. And, and that's what makes it relatable. That's what makes people, it's not like you got the voice of an angel, man. They're not listening to you. Like, they're listening because you speak honest and truthful and ask questions when it's important. And, again, not like you're playing a role.
Okay. No, I'm glad to know that. I have to tell you too, I'm not going to say it here, but about a week ago when I was recording, I shared something about my health that as I was doing it, I was like, why am I saying this? Like, why? There's no reason for me to tell people this. Like, what am I doing? And when I got done, the person I was recording with said, I really appreciate you talking about that. That could not have been easy. And I think it's a thing that a lot of people suffer with that nobody talks about. She's like, it was really brave of you. And I said, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know if it was brave, but it definitely feels stupid. At the same time, I know that if I was in a group of 5 people who I met 20 minutes ago and we were all chatting and it came up, I know I would say that. So like it felt disingenuous. I wanted to stop myself while we were recording. Like, trust me, you'll know what it is when you get to it. I ain't telling you now. But as I was getting ready to say it, I think you'll hear the pause where I'm like, oh God, am I going to do this? Like, right. And then I just thought, whatever. It really couldn't possibly matter less.
Yeah.
I'll say the thing. Maybe it'll help some people. Maybe somebody will make fun of me over it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait till you hear. It's going to be a whole thing. There's a pun in there. There's a pun in there somewhere. I have to say goodbye because Arden's leaving and she's not coming back for a couple of days. And I promised her I'd say goodbye to her before she took off. So, and she's out of here in like 15 minutes. So I got to jump.
By all means.
But you were really kind to come on and share your experience with everybody. And seriously, tell your wife if she'd like to come back on and record sometime. I'd be happy to hear the rest of her story too. All right, Mike. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. It was a pleasure.
Hold on one second for me. Dexcom sponsored this episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Learn more about the Dexcom G7 at my link, dexcom.com/juicebox. Today's episode is also sponsored by the Omnipod 5. And at my link, omnipod.com/juicebox, you can get yourself a free, what'd I just say? A free Omnipod 5 starter kit. Free? Get out of here. Go click on that link, omnipod.com/juicebox. Check it out. Terms and conditions apply. Eligibility may vary. Full terms and conditions can be found at omnipod.com/juicebox. Links in the show notes. Links at juiceboxpodcast.com. Did you know that Skin Grip has donated over $100,000 in scholarships to help people with diabetes? The people at Skin Grip, they know what it's like to live with type 1 diabetes. They know what it's like when your devices fall off at the absolute worst time, and they're here to help. skingrip.com/juicebox. Save 20% off your first order when you use my link. That's what you get for being a Juicebox Podcast listener. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. If you're not already subscribed or following the podcast in your favorite audio app like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do that now. Seriously, just to hit follow or subscribe will really help the show. If you go a little further in Apple Podcasts and set it up so that it downloads all new episodes, I'll be your best friend. And if you leave a 5-star review, I'll probably send you a Christmas card. Would you like a Christmas card? Hey, do you need support? I have some stuff for you. It's all free. Juiceboxpodcast.com. Click on support in the menu. Let's see what you get there. A1C and blood glucose calculator. People love that. That's actually, I think, the most popular page on the website some months. A list of great endocrinologists from listeners. That's from all over the country. There's a link to the private Facebook group, to the Circle community, and we have a fantastic thing there, American Sign Language. There's a great sign language interpreter who did the entire Bold Beginning series in ASL. So if you know anybody who would benefit from that, please send them that way. Just go to juiceboxpodcast.com and click on support. While you're there, check out the guides like the pre-bolusing guide, fat and protein insulin calculator, thyroid, GLP, caregiver burnout. You should go to the website, click around a little bit on those menus. It really, there's a lot more there than you think. Have a podcast? Want it to sound fantastic? WrongWayRecording.com.